Hello.
It is now 6:00 p.m. The meeting of the Local Officers Compensation Commission has been properly posted to be held this day, Wednesday, March 29th, 2023, at 6 p.m. The meeting is now called to order. Roll call, Commissioner Lalonde. Here. Commissioner Thomas. Here. Commissioner Roscoe.
Here.
Commissioner Epplin. Here. Commissioner Landino.
Here.
Commissioner Lubeck.
Here.
Commissioner Jacobiak.
Here.
Agenda item 2. It is now time for the hearing of the public. I'd like to yield the floor to Commissioner Lalonde for housekeeping matters to address hearing of the public.
Good evening, and thank you for taking part in such an important commission and policy-making group. The hearing of the public is a position that we offer to the public in order for them to express their views and their concerns. We ask that you be respectful, that you keep it to the point of what we are here for, which is the commission's salaries and wages for mayor and council. You have a 3-minute time limit, and we will be keeping track of that here. We would hopefully ask that you please respect that time limit and not continue way beyond. I'm pretty easygoing, but don't mess with me. We'll leave it at that. How's that? Having said that, the opening of the hearing of the public is now on. You have to use the microphone because I can't hear that well.
I don't know if
Please state your name and your address.
I'm Gerard Vandeviver. I'm a member of the Local Officers Compensation Commission, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be sitting someplace other than here.
Commissioner Roscoe.
Gerard Vandeviver.
Commissioner Roscoe was actually placed in that position. So the position was up for reappointment, and the council reappointed Commissioner Roscoe to that position.
Okay, so the appointment that I received then is not valid.
So the term had ended. At the end
Okay.
of your term, it was a
Thank you very much.
reappointment.
Thank you. Anyone else for the hearing of the public? Please state your name and address.
Good evening. Mary Hall Rayford, 17101 Veronica. Just wanted you to consider that public service is supposed to be just that, service from the heart. And I realize we have a problem with inflation, but I don't think our budget, according to the last one I saw, would entertain paychecks. And that's why we call it compensation. So I urge you to consider the compensation and not try to make it a paycheck. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi.
Name and address, please.
Cindy Federley, 15338 Veronica, longtime resident. I think our city council has become a laughingstock of the country. I had Googled the city of East Point to look up when Jim Kelly was mayor, and all you get is posts about the nonsense that's been going on in our city. It's embarrassing. I don't think we should increase compensation for people that have made us a laughingstock. I also did some math. So I divided the amount, the base for the council people and the mayor, and added 2 meetings. I guesstimated they spend about 10 hours randomly during the month, and 5 hours at meetings. And at that rate, the mayor is now making $32 an hour, and the council people $28 an hour. For a public service position, I think that's pretty darn good, especially since it's a part-time. I don't know where else you can go out and get a part-time job for $28 an hour. So I think that they're well compensated, and if you look at all those facts, and the fact that they are making a mockery of our fair, our wonderful city, and our rates, our housing values are going down because of all of this. We're not going to be able to attract new businesses. They need to get their act together before they are given a raise, in my opinion. Thank you.
Anyone else to speak to the hearing of the public? Please state your name and address.
Linda Flans, 15559 South Park. I've been a longtime resident, like 20-some years. I looked at the sheet, or the spreadsheet that was in here, that compared East Point to all these other cities. And one of the things that I noticed, above all, is that out of all the cities, East Point has the lowest property values of any, if you're looking at the total SEV of the 2023, we have the lowest property values of any city on that. And if you compare the per meeting pay that we pay, which is $157.50, which it doesn't include this $52 additional. So if you add that, that's $209.50. We pay more per meeting than any other city on this list compared to our property values. And I agree with Cindy that, I mean, the drama that has been occurring the last 3 years, it's embarrassing, to tell you the truth. And I don't feel like they deserve a raise at all. In fact, I think maybe you should look at reducing it, to tell you the truth. And if you guys do decide to recommend an increase, I just feel like that's going to be insult to injury on top of what the city's had to deal with the last 3 years. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak to the hearing of the public? Anyone else wish to speak to the hearing of the public? Seeing none, I turn it back to Robin.
Thank you. The hearing of the public is now closed. We're now on agenda item 3. A motion is in order to appoint a chairperson.
I motion to appoint Commissioner Lalonde as chair.
I second that.
Second
second.
by Walt and Christina.
Roll call. Commissioner Lalonde.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas. Commissioner Roscoe.
Yes.
Commissioner Epplin.
Yes.
Commissioner Landino.
Yes.
Commissioner Lubeck.
Yes.
Commissioner Jakubiec.
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Chairperson Lalonde.
Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome.
Welcome to the Commission on Compensation. At this particular point in time, we need a motion for the approval of the minutes of May 25th, 2021.
Point
May
of
I have-
order. We need to elect a secretary.
Thank you. I just saw that. I missed it on my agenda. You want to renege on my appointment as chair?
Negative.
I'd like to have a motion for appointment of a secretary. Yes?
For secretary?
Yep.
I can't remember this lady's name, but yeah, I want to recommend her.
Your name is Walter
Walter.
Jakubiec, and you are Mariah. I don't know if Mariah can be the secretary of our commission. It has to be one of our members.
She's not part of our commission.
Right. So I would step down from my role as chair and move Christina be appointed secretary again.
I'll accept again.
Support.
Motion has been made and seconded to appoint Christina as chair, as secretary. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now, approval of the minutes from the May 25th, 2021 meeting is in your packet. I hope that you have had the time to go through them. It was a Zoom meeting because we were going through the pandemic. Are there any corrections or additions to those minutes that anyone saw? Seeing none, a motion is in order to approve the minutes of the 2021, May 25th, 2021 meeting. May I have that motion? Please state your name if you make the motion.
My name is Walter Kubiak, and I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from May 25th, 2021.
Is there support?
Support.
Name?
Ricky Thomas.
Ricky, thank you. Motion by Walter, seconded by Ricky to approve the minutes of the May 25th, 21 meeting. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have one other piece of business that goes into that was given to me before the meeting, and that is the approval of the bylaws that we have had. May I have a motion to approve the bylaws for our commission?
Madam Chair, I wonder, because there's a lot involved here, whether we can establish another meeting that'll give us an opportunity to look at this and then come back and vote on it.
Discussion, anybody else? Okay, we're in a quandary. We either have a motion to approve, or are you making that a motion, Walter, that we?
Yes.
Walter has made a motion that we reconvene after we have had time to peruse the bylaws that were given to us tonight. We can establish that meeting if the commission wants it. At this particular time, then, Walter, I would ask that you also include in your minutes, or in your motion, that you wish to table this until we set a meeting date.
Yes.
Would you do that?
Yeah, I'd like to table this until another date where we would have the opportunity to look at this and then come back and vote on it.
I'll support that motion.
Your name, please?
Robert Ratto,
Okay.
Commissioner.
Commissioner Rasso. Any other discussion?
Pardon me, Chair, but on a motion to table, we don't have discussion.
You're right. Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, do you want to discuss a meeting date right now, or do you want to, how long do we have to have, because we have to post
Within
this?
45 days.
We have to have a meeting within 45 days, and we have to post it for how long? How long does it have to be posted?
Within 18 hours prior to the meeting.
Okay, we have 18 hours, so when would you like to?
Um,
I know what I'll do. I'll send out some dates and we can pick one because everybody doesn't have their calendars with them and access to that right now. How's that? Okay, if that's approved. All those in favor of tabling the approval of the bylaws and setting a new date for meeting and discussion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Moving on to the next piece of is the discussion and action on data supplied by the Commission Liaison on compensation for the mayor and council. I'm going to open this up for discussion at this particular time, so feel free to, yes, Jeff.
First, I'd like to address a comment that was made at the hearing of the public.
I think you're out of order. We can do that at the end under Commissioner statements.
Well, I think as we move forward, I think the clarity would help not only the public understand, but also the commissioners
Okay,
who may not be as familiar with this as you and I are.
so you're giving okay, go ahead.
There was a number stated earlier about the per meeting breakdown.
Oh, you're doing clarification.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
And that is a misleading number. There is a base salary, and then there is the $52 per meeting payment. And that per meeting breakdown is going to change dependent upon how many meetings take place each year. So really, At least in the case of the city of East Point, that's kind of a meaningless number, since it is a base salary and a per meeting pay.
Thank you, Jeff.
Can I add to that? I was looking over that same thing, and when I did the numbers, for instance, the mayor's pay is $188.33 breakdown per period, with a $52 per diem, brings her meeting up to $240.33 per meeting, and the council's pay from $157 to $209.50 with that $52. And then you also, and they average 24 meetings per year with that $52. And then they also have 10 to 13 special meetings per year with that additional $52. So I think that should all be brought into as per meeting pay.
Jeff?
But then, I guess I would like to see the formula used to calculate that, because
Well, the
say
mayor's pay is $45.20 divided by 24 meetings, which is what I gather from here, because they have a value of $188.33.
Okay, however, when you say a per meeting breakdown,
Yes.
if a council person misses 6 meetings,
Then they
it
don't get
does not affect
$52.
it doesn't affect their base pay,
No, it doesn't have.
which is
it
what
affects
part of
their
that number is
additional.
based on. But they miss out on the $52
Yes.
per meeting pay.
Yes,
That's why
at
I
the
said, at
bottom it
least
says
in our
50
city, the per meeting breakdown is kind of misleading. I don't care which way you look at it.
Right, but I mean, $188 for the mayor is misleading because she's also getting $52 for the additional meeting pay. And the same with the council. Their pay is not $157.50, they get $209.50.
But they get their salary whether they attend the meeting or not, so it's not a per meeting.
Right, but if you
Hey.
look at the average of what the council has attended, the average is 24 meetings a year. They haven't missed that many meetings. Look at their attendance record.
I've looked at the attendance records, and they are all over the place, which is why I say that is a misleading number. I think base pay needs to be left base pay, and
Well,
per
it is
meeting
gonna be
pay
left.
needs to be per meeting pay, and we don't mix apples and oranges.
At this particular time, I'm going to suggest that we are talking about what is in the past, and we're here to discuss what's to happen in the future. And I would strongly urge us to be very, very careful in how we word things and to be very transparent with the community as to exactly what and how much they get paid and for what. And I think that would resolve this issue as we go forward.
Well, then maybe we should clarify at the bottom of the column here, 52 additional per meeting attended. Is that just special meetings, or is that the regular meetings also?
We can do that when we take part, when we go forward and discuss what's going to
Because
happen
there was a
in the future.
discrepancy on that part.
All right.
I'd like that
Something
clarified on what it means.
Right. Does that solve the problem for everybody, that we are more transparent and more open as we go forward in the next session? Okay. With that in mind, I'd like to remind everybody here at the council, that at the commission, that we are a commission that sets wage and salary for mayor and for council people. We are a weak mayor form of government. They are, for the most part, figureheads, although they do have the responsibility to set the budget and to set different activities. With that in mind, when we compare ourselves to other communities, we have to compare ourselves to communities of equal like, with income, with size, with strong mayor versus weak mayor, and also to remember that we have 3 things that we can do. We can increase the salary, we can decrease the salary, or we can leave the salary the same. Those are the options that we have. It would be equally done for mayor as well as council. We can't single out one group over another. And that way we are fair in what we are doing, and fair in not being an evaluation committee, which we are not. We are not here to evaluate anyone's performance. We are here to set going forward. With that in mind, do I have any discussion as to upcoming wage and salary?
I make a motion to keep it the same as it is right now, $49.50 for the mayor, or $49.20 for the mayor, and $37.80 for council.
Christina moved that the salaries remain the same,
And the
$49,
$52 per meeting.
$45.20 for the mayor, and $37.80 for council, with the $52 per meeting.
Yes, it just stays as is.
Is there support?
I'll support that.
Walt has supported. Is there discussion?
I would agree to that as well, and, I'd just like to throw in, oddly enough, I, happened to run into Harvey Curley today, and he's not expecting a raise and does not think that, they deserve a raise of any kind, so if, that means anything or not.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Jeff?
I just want to make a comment. In all the years I've done this, you look at the different factors between population, property values, taxable values, and everything, and it's really difficult to find a community that you can say across the board is very equitable to East Point. Because one will be outstanding or lacking in one area or another. So that kind of makes it difficult to do an evaluation. The second one is, and this has been historic, at least in the amount of time that I've been on this commission, and East Point is one of the lowest paid mayor and city councils in the area. There's no two ways about that. And even if we were to double what they are getting, they would not significantly move up in ranking on that chart, which is kind of interesting to look at. I know there's a perception by a lot of people who seem to think that they're getting all kinds of money, and they are not. There are certain elected officials who think they should be getting all kinds of money, and clearly this happens every 2 years in an election year. Council gets the report, they know where it's at, and they still struggle with that. And I think the toughest part for the commissioners is separating the who from the what. We're here to discuss what the pay is for the elected officials and not who the elected officials are and the job that they are doing. And some years that's been a lot more difficult than others. And with that, I'll conclude my comments.
I've also I asked that we be informed of what the current status of the contracts with the other groups that we have contracts with. If they have, like the unions, like the police, the fire, and then departments that have lost in their budget, have the contracts, the union contracts, have they been settled? Are they settled?
We're in the process now of negotiating all 6 contracts, so in 2023, they have not been settled. They do expire July 1st.
Okay. And in the last contract, did they take a increase or a decrease or stay the same?
Yes, they did have an increase. So across the board, the fire department had a 2%, labor had 3%, clerical had a 2%, patrol and command and the police department had a 2%, and the court had a 3%.
Thank you. Have we cut the budgets of any departments?
We have not. I know the building department is one that has been in conversation in regards to eliminating employees, but we actually transitioned that to McKenna, and so we do pay the cost of services for McKenna and the staff that we have. So that was not a reduction of employees, that was transitioning the department for operations, specifically not for budget.
Any other discussion? Jeff?
Can I ask how that transition impacted the building department's budget?
There was not an impact. The building department is built to function off of the services that it provides for the community. So it should not have an impact on the general fund. And so any of the reviews that occur for plan reviews are typically paid for by the applicant. When you go out and do an inspection, there are inspection costs. And so last year, we actually increased and had adjustments to our fee schedule to ensure that our fees covered the cost of services. So any of the work being done by the building department is covered by the cost of the employee, whether it's, or the applicant, whether it's planning related, or if there are inspections that are happening for work that is done on a home in the community or business.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other discussion? Seeing none, a motion is on the floor that we keep the salaries the same for the mayor and council as the previous year. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So ordered. We will make extremely clear as you get the minutes and before this is sent to the council, please send it to us so we can take a look at it and everybody is very clear on exactly what is said and what was done. That satisfy everybody's concern that was here at the table? Jeff?
If I may suggest, we can actually do that when we meet on the bylaws. And I don't remember what the date is in which we have to have our recommendation to council.
When is our date for the council?
Actually, when the minutes are drawn up, I present a memo to the city
City
clerk.
clerk,
And the city clerk presents to the
council. You know when?
So April 4th, we're presenting the initial budget, and then in May, we have a budget workshop. So anytime between then would be perfect, but without the increase, we've currently budgeted for the status quo of what they're currently earning. So it will not have an impact on what we've presented.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Any other business to come before the commission?
When will it be cited on the meeting for the bylaws?
We're going to send out some dates because
Okay.
people don't have their calendars with them up here at the table, and we want to make certain that all of us, or at least all of us should be here, but definitely that we can reach a quorum. So we'll send out dates. Robin and I will yell at each other tomorrow.
It's fine.
Okay. We'll yell at each other tomorrow. East Point Excellence Awards. I'm going to turn it over to Robin to tell you what that is about.
Well, the objective is to recognize and honor dedicated public servants, such as yourselves, board and commission members, for outstanding leadership, civic involvement, and exemplary contributions to the East Point community. City Council can give a rolling acceptance of nominations for East Point Excellence Awards, or can require submission from October 1st to November 30th of each calendar year with award presentation occurring at the first council meeting of the following January. It is up to you as commission members to nominate one of your peers to receive an East Point Excellence Award. And with that being said, if you would like
Yeah.
to make a motion to
I'd like
nominate
to
to
make a
appoint.
motion to appoint Mr. Lubeck.
You are Commissioner Kubiak, okay? And you want to appoint Mr. Lubick? Or nominate Mr. Lubick to the Excellent Awards? Is there a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Jakubiec and a second by Commissioner and Chairperson Lalonde. Roll call, Chairperson Lalonde.
Yes?
Chairperson Thomas. I'm sorry, Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Roscoe.
Yes.
Commissioner Epplin.
Yes.
Commissioner Landino. Commissioner Lubeck.
I'll abstain.
And Commissioner Jakubiec.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I have a question on this. Does it have to be a sitting board or commission member?
No, and so if there's a completion, there's a requirement that they have to have completed 5 years on a board or commission, 5 years of service, and then you could move forward with making a recommendation.
Oh, because there is someone I believe that is deserving of a nomination. I just don't know if they've met the tenure requirement. And that would be Tim Palazzola, who previously had served on the Planning Commission and as chair of the Planning Commission. So if you could look into that and see if he's met the time requirement. 'Cause he's a very invaluable asset that was very painful for the city to lose.
I agree with you. I will absolutely look into it.
Any other business? I'd like to thank Robin and Mariah for their team effort and all the work that they put in getting the information out to us. Thank you, and putting up with me and my phone calls. I appreciate that as well. Anything else from any of the commissioners for statements at the end they would like to make? Jeff?
I believe Commissioner Landino had a question about the current pay scale. I don't know if that was something she still wanted to discuss or not in light of her motion passing.
I was asking if on the column, it says $52 additional per meeting attended. And there was a question earlier that was just for special meetings, but that $52 is for every meeting. That was all I asked to be clarified earlier.
As I remember, it is $52 for each
Per
meeting, and if it happens to be a day where they have a special meeting followed by a regular meeting,
They get two.
they get paid for both meetings.
Right. I had brought this up in speaking, and it was told to me that it was only for the 13 or whatever special meetings that they had. And I said, no, the column reads 52 additional meetings. It doesn't say anything about special meetings.
52 additional for each meeting with a limit of
Right.
52
Right.
meetings.
There's a limit of 52 meetings, that's 1 week.
Right.
Does that clarify?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I was just bringing it up because of the discussion we had earlier where.
Right.
Now, that was kind of in my mind that was a question that had not been addressed, that we probably should before we consider adjournment tonight.
Everybody satisfied with the way we have worded it? And you'll receive it before it goes to council, so that if you have any questions, you can make your suggestions then as well. Walter?
Yeah, as far as the date that we're going to come back and take a look at the,
Bylaws?
are you going to email us?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to
Yeah,
talk with Robin tomorrow. And get some
Yeah, I
dates.
personally don't care. I'm retired, and so any day is good for me.
Is 6 o'clock the okay time, or do you want earlier? What do you want?
I would say in consideration for the city staff that's involved, 6 o'clock is fine.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, that's good to know. I will get with Robin, we'll get that out to you tomorrow. Appreciate it if you would get back with us as soon as you can about the date. We'll do a consensus where we are assured that we will have a quorum.
Okay.
Anything else? Let's go to the city. Seeing none, thank you for your time, your patience. Thank you for attending. We appreciate. We need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Jeff. Supported by Christina. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Have a good Easter. Yeah.